Hi, the Green Report here with 6 environmental news stories you may have missed in December 2020. Let's dive in. Number 1. Bushfires in Fraser Island, Australia. An illegal campfire started a devastating fire on Fraser Island, Australia, which burned 200,000 acres of its unique habitat, including large sand dunes, swamps, and rainforest. Fraser Island is near Brisbane on the northeastern coast, where dingoes, swamp wallabies, spider gliders, and more than 60 reptile species call the island home. It was declared a World Heritage Site in 1992. As the devastating fires burned, tourists had to be evacuated quickly, and it's a frightening reminder of last year's bushfire season in 2019-2020, where more than 37 million acres were destroyed, 3 billion animals were killed, and 33 people died. 3 men in their 20s and 1 teenager were charged with starting an unauthorized campfire on the island, which grew to a 200,000-acre fire, threatening wildlife and people there. The 4 men are expected to appear in court on January 21st. Number 2. Deforestation of Amazon skyrockets. According to Brazil's space agency, Amazon's rainforest deforestation rate has surpassed the highest in 12 years. Since 2008, the deforestation rate has fluctuated, but 2020 is now the highest in over a decade. A total of 4,281 square miles of rainforest were destroyed from August 2019 to July 2020. This is a 9.5 increase from the previous year. It should be noted that the Amazon is a vital carbon store that slows down the pace of global warming, and scientists say it has suffered losses at an accelerated rate since President Jair Bolsonaro took office in January 2019. The Brazilian president has encouraged agriculture and mining activities in the world's largest rainforest. The Amazon is home to about 3 million species of plants and animals and 1 million indigenous people. Number 3. New Zealand declares a climate emergency. The government of New Zealand declared a climate emergency in December, a symbolic step recognizing the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change predictions of substantial global warming if emissions do not fall. Alongside the declaration, New Zealand announced it would require its public sector to become carbon neutral by 2025. Government agencies would need to measure, report, and offset emissions. The public sector needs to be and will be an exemplar that sets the standard we all need to achieve by 2050, New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern told Parliament in Wellington. It should be noted this is strictly a symbolic move, as no money or power is associated with declaring a climate emergency. Number 4. Venice floods 2020. In December, Venice had floods of up to 5 feet after the city failed to predict accurate high tides to activate barrier gates. Also, an 1,000-year-old cathedral was completely flooded, and also bars, restaurants, and shops have been affected by the floodwaters. This flooding is similar to what happened in 2019, where again Venice was severely flooded, as there is great concern about the economic impacts of continuous flooding year after year, as well as the threat of sea level rise and the future of Venice's existence disappearing in coming decades. Number 5. Global emissions fall by 7% in 2020. Carbon dioxide emissions in 2020 fell by 7%, the biggest drop ever, as countries around the world impose lockdowns and restrictions on movement to curb the spread of coronavirus pandemic, the Global Carbon Project said in its annual assessment in December. The pandemic year saw emissions cut by an estimated 2.4 billion metric tons, shattering previous records of annual declines, such as 0.9 billion metric tons at the end of World War II, or 0.5 billion metric tons in 2009 when the global financial crisis hit. Researchers say the emissions are down mainly because more people stayed home and traveled less by car or plane this year. It should be noted that lockdowns are not the key to stopping a warming global average temperature, but it does help pollution levels decrease. Experts instead cite transition to green energy as a solution to the climate crisis. Number 6. Cyclone Yasa hits Fiji. Cyclone Yasa was a Category 5 system with winds up to 160 miles per hour that hit Vanuatu, Fiji's second-largest island, killing 2 and forcing thousands to seek shelter. Though Yasa moved relatively quickly, causing less immediate damage than had been feared, Fiji's prime minister stated that every Fijian should prepare for heavy rain, damaging winds, coastal inundation, and flooding across the country. Also, he cited climate change, stating that global warming was the cause of worsening wildfires in Australia, as well as heavier storms in the Pacific. And with every additional degree of average global warming, the scale and frequency of wildfires will increase exponentially, as well as the intensity of heat-driven tropical cyclones. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to the Green Report for more monthly recap videos on the environment and the climate crisis.